Welcome to the Roller Grill. Let's get right to it. You see it. Pork chop, sweet potato mash, honey balsamic drizzle. Let's get to it. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all, the sweet potato mash is a pretty simple process. Sweet potatoes, butter, half and half, and salt. That's pretty much it. You're going to cut them up into cubes. We're going to put them in some boiling salted water, and off we go. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to season these up with my grilling dust. These are about 1/2 inch thick, perfect size, bone in. Do a heavy coat on both sides. You'll be good to go. Next up, Tajin seasoning. This is a citrus-based seasoning. Nice notes of chili, nice notes of lime. I usually use it as a finishing seasoning, but I'm gonna go ahead and dust these chops with it. Next up is black pepper. Can't go wrong with black pepper. Heavy dose on both sides of the chops. All right, that's it. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and rub this seasoning into the pork chops. Then I'm gonna let them sit in the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour, and we'll move on with the next step. All right, next up in the cast iron skillet over medium-high heat, we're gonna add unsalted butter and olive oil. Not extra virgin olive oil, but pure olive oil. It's good for sauteing. All right, now it's time to add the pork chops. I'm gonna add all 4 of them to the pan. We got some good heat in the pan. I'm gonna leave them in here for about 5 minutes aside because I really wanna get a nice golden brown sear on each side. And then after 5 minutes, we'll flip them over and then we'll place them in the oven. All right, now it's time to check and see what we look like. We got a pretty nice golden brown sear on that side. So we'll go ahead and get all 4 of these pork chops flipped over. Smells real good. We got good high heat. Nothing's burning. Good caramelization. That's what we're looking for. So let's let them go for another 5 minutes. In the oven they go. All right, after 5 minutes and before you put them in the oven, be sure to sear up the nice fatty edges to get that fat nice golden brown. It'll help with the bite, give it great texture and mouthfeel. And we're gonna do that with all 4 of the pork chops. All right, while we're rendering the fat from the edges, let's go ahead and add some onion slices to the pan. All right, now that we got the onions spread out, we're gonna take these thick cut pork chops and place them on top of the onions. The onions are gonna protect these pork chops from the direct heat from this cast iron, because we all know once you get cast iron hot, it stays hot, and we don't want to overcook these pork chops. The onions are also going to help with the finalized juice. So what we're going to do now is place it in a 350-degree oven for about 10 minutes, and we'll continue to check until we get the temp to about 145 degrees. Next up, we're going to add our sweet potatoes to some salted water. We're going to bring this to a boil. You want to add the potatoes to the water while it's still cold. We're going to bring it up to a boil, and we're going to cook them until we get them fork tender. All right, after about 25 minutes, we're going to give them a fork test. See if they're tender. They're good and tender. Fork goes right through. We'll take these off the heat, drain them, and get ready for the next step. All right, after about 20 minutes, we're going to remove our pork chops from the oven. We're going to take the pork chops out, and now we're going to start to build our honey balsamic glaze. All right, first thing we're adding to the pan is a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. Next up is 2 tablespoons of clover honey. All right, we're gonna keep the pan on a medium heat, mixing everything around. We just wanna kind of reduce this down a little bit to kind of create like a nice little glaze. And we won't use the onions, but we're just gonna use the flavor that comes from it. To create the sweet potato mash, we're gonna add the sweet potatoes to the food processor. Add 3 tablespoons of butter, or as much butter as you like. All right, next up is a 1/2 cup of half and half cream. Also add a few pinches of salt if you need more salt. Other than that, put the lid on the food processor and let's get this pulse down. All right, that's it. First thing you notice is that beautiful orange color. Great texture. You can leave these in the food processor whipping, and unlike white mashed potatoes, they won't get gluey or starchy. Just beautiful consistency. All right, y'all, everything is done. Let's plate up.
Feel something real. Show me what you really feel. Don't let time get away from us. Only only got this moment now. Whole world in your eyes, and I feel your light like the first time. My soul in your hands, this is our one chance, waiting my whole life. Just try tonight, don't say anything, don't say anything. This is not the end, everything.
Thank y'all for joining me. Good food, good vibes. Yeah, boy!